I have claimed on here that our belief is a choice. And I'm not saying that it's something that we suddenly choose, like we're sitting at the table and we say, oh, by the way, I'm going to be an atheist. Pass the butter. And certainly we are not all the same. Each of us has a different cloud of influence surrounding us. I'd like to share with you this afternoon some thoughts on that topic, a little clip from John McNary, lead pastor at Heartland Church in Sun Prairie.
It was the British poet John Donne who once wrote so famously, "No man is an island." His poem goes on to talk about the interconnectedness of all of us, of all of humankind, how we are all dependent on one another and how we are all influenced by other people. The reality is that you and I are the people that we are today because we have been influenced by someone, and probably more than a someone, by a series or a group of someones. We've all been influenced probably by a collection of parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles and extended family members, our siblings, our teachers, our coaches, our bosses. And today, increasingly, we would have to acknowledge we're being influenced by the swipe of our phone or the scan of our face in the form of social media. Because whenever we log on, we are absolutely bombarded with posts and images and advertisements and retweets from what we think are people we have decided we want to follow, but that increasingly are being driven to us by sophisticated algorithms that are trying to shape the way that we think and feel and behave, the ways that we shop, and the ways that we vote. Technology philosopher Jaron Lanier put it this way. He writes, what might once have been called advertising must now be understood as continuous behavior modification that is happening on a titanic scale. No longer are people trying to advertise to us. We are caught up in a system of continuous behavior modification. In the New Testament that we read, the world is kind of the outside of Christ crowd, and we are told in the New Testament that the world is always at work forming us, forming who we are and who we become. And so the question that we have to pause and ask ourselves from time to time is not, am I being formed? The question that we have to pause and ask ourselves from time to time is, what am I being formed into? How am I different today than I was 10 years ago? Because you are not the same person you were 10 years ago. We all are shaped and formed over time. And so as we ask ourselves, what is the ways in which I'm being shaped and formed? We also need to take it even one step deeper and ask, and who is influencing the way that I'm being shaped? Who's driving that process that is shaping me into the person that I am becoming? For me personally, I have become convinced that of all the people that I could allow to influence me, I'm convinced that Jesus is by far the best option. And there is no comparison. Like many of you in this room and billions of people around the globe today, I have come to believe that there is simply no better way, truth, or life available to us than the one that is in Christ Jesus.